We're going to look at something that you all have been working with for quite some time throughout your school career, and that is making measurement conversions. We're going to show you how you can make those conversions by using a proportion. So the same way that we have been solving things the last couple of days, you can also use to make those conversions, like if we're going from inches to feet or grams to kilograms. Let's look at some examples. You are going to need that yellow paper that is the mathematics chart that is at your table. These you will be using, I word this as being your best friend. So this has all of the different conversions that you will need as a sixth grader. One side of the paper has those conversions. The other side has some formulas that we'll be working with later in the year. Right now, you'll only need the conversion side. We're going to work with both customary and metric systems, as you guys are very familiar with these already. Let's talk about number one. Joan is 66 inches tall. We need to know her height in feet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set up my proportion. And I can see my 2 units of measurement are inches and feet. So I'm comparing inches to feet. My given ratio is going to come from my yellow BFF, my yellow math chart. I'm going to find where I have inches and feet together. And I can see on my math chart, it's under the length section in the customary system. And in 1 foot, there's 12 inches. Your labeling ratios are going to be very, very important here because of the fact that you have to keep your work organized. If you don't put your inches with inches and feet with feet, you will get this incorrect. So now what we have to do is we have to use the information in the problem to figure out what we are converting from. So we're going from 66 inches. So I'm going to put 66 here. And then I'm going to put an X here because I know that I am solving for the number of feet. Then I can cross multiply and divide. So this will be 12x is equal to 66 times 1. You should be able to do 66 times 1 with no trouble. It would be 66. And then we're going to divide by 12. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do 66 divided by 12. Let's see, it's going to go in 5 times. 5 times 12 is 60. Subtract and I have 6. So I'm going to add a decimal point. And I'm going to add a 0 and bring that down. So it's going to be 5.5. So there's 2 ways we could answer this. It could be 5.5 feet. Or we could say 5 feet, 6 inches. Because 6 inches would be half of a foot. Let's do one more together. The distance between 2 cities is 4 kilometers. How many meters apart are the cities? So we are going to go ahead and set up our proportion. We are comparing kilometers and meters. So I'm going to label it kilometers and meters. I'm going to look at my math chart. It tells me that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. I need to know for 4 kilometers. So this is one that I don't have to cross multiply and divide for. I can see a pattern emerge immediately. 1 times 4 is 4. So then 1,000 times 4 would be 4,000. So my answer would be 4,000 meters. With conversions, sometimes you will multiply, sometimes you will divide. It just depends on if you're going from a larger unit to a smaller unit or a smaller unit to a larger unit. What I want you to do here is I want you to pause the video. I want you to work the other 4 problems and then restart the video to check your work. All right, check your work. Do you have the same answers I did? If not, go back and look at what mistakes that you have made. Pause this video so you can fix your notes because you want them to be accurate. Sometimes you're going to have a situation where the 2 units you need are not on the same line. So what you have to do is a little trick. Let's say, for example, that you have to compare gallons to ounces here. Well, if we look, we can see we have gallon and quarts together, and we have cups and ounces together, but gallons and ounces are not on the same line. So I'm going to show you a little trick you can do. I'm going to start here where the ounces are. And I know I've got to move all the way up to where my gallon is. So I'm going to take these numbers. I'm not using the numbers that are ones all the way down. I'm using these right here. And I'm going to multiply up. So 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 2 is 16. So then I'm going to move up another level. 16 times 2 is 32. Then I'm going to move up one more. 32 times 4 is 128. So that means that in 1 gallon, we have 128 ounces. Well, let's say we needed to know how many ounces were in 4 gallons. All I have to do then is multiply 128 times 4. 128 times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. 8, 11, 5. So that would mean that in 4 gallons, we have 512 ounces. This works every time so long as you go from the unit that you need to be at to the one that you started with. So we started with our ounces, we moved up to quarts. You could also have multiplied down from quarts to fluid ounces, and you would have gotten the same answer.